Look, I have a kid. I used to be like that until I had my kid. Now that I have my kid, like I might be this, oh, I'm a boss bitch, da, da, da. But deep down in my heart, I would do absolutely anything to be at home and be like always with my child. And that shit's hard. Like, but unfortunately, since I'm by myself, I gotta hustle, you know. But I would do anything to have a man like that.
That's what we saying. That's exactly. Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you for telling the fucking truth.
Hello, everybody. Welcome or welcome back to the Talk Podcast. So, I chose to share this clip today because it's quite short, but it speaks very loud. Like, it says a lot, and it says a lot what is happening nowadays, where, you know, admitting that you do want a man, that you do need a man, that a man is needed in the household has become something that is looked down upon. It's become, it's kind of shameful for a woman to say that she wants to be in a committed relationship. She wants to have a husband. She wants to get married. And, so many women, so many young women, in this generation now, because the older women have kind of passed this on to us. And yes, we do make our choices, but you do get influenced by the past generation, by your, the way you grew up, by things that you see surrounding you, by things that you keep hearing all the time. And what we have been hearing for the longest is that women don't need men, right? Men are, less than. You can do everything on your own. You don't need a man. They're just good, to pay your bills, and that's it. But what happens a lot is that young women put themselves in very bad positions and also put the children that they're having in very bad position by making the choice to become a single mother, right? So this is a young woman who is a single mother. She's been doing things in her past that are not, the best things, not the right choices. She calls herself a hustler. But reality is, and this goes, I would assume, I really believe this actually, that this goes for majority of women. We do want to be taken care of. We do want somebody who's going to lead the relationship. We do want somebody, and I'm talking about a man, a husband. We want somebody who's going to be there and we can share life with them, someone who's going to protect and provide and guide us, and then someone who's also going to be a father to our children. That is intrinsically what most women want. But, a lot of women have tapped into the sisterhood that nowadays they are scared to say it out loud. They are scared to admit and to follow along what their inner voice is telling them, what their natural being is supposed to want. Is like we are fighting against it. And the end results, the outcome are always bad. I know for a fact, I really believe this for a fact, that most women would want to have a stable relationship, would want to get married, but they don't want to be in the position of having to raise a child on their own and struggling and hustling and doing everything on your own, not having the right influence in your child's life, and then just kind of being miserable in the whole process and keep pretending in it. And playing off this idea of how strong you are, how empowered you are. You're such a boss chick because you are kind of juggling 3 jobs and taking care of the kid and taking care of the household while you don't have any time for yourself anymore. And your adult life is just, completely wrecked because there's no space. There's no time that you can make because all your focus is on raising that child as best as possible, or making money, or even both at the same time. And it's a hard thing to do. It's going to put you at disadvantage. And in most cases, you might not even be able to do it right. You're not going to be able to raise that child in the best way possible. Of course, there are some few single mothers who are doing a great job, but by and large, you're not going to be able to do it. And to cover all the bills and all the expenses, or to even create room and space, or be able to provide for new life experiences, to go on trips with the child, to, spoil your child here and there, you're not going to be able to do it, because being a single mother is the best way to lead yourself into poverty. What I'd also like to add is that women are the ones choosing the man that they want to give their bodies to, right? We choose who we want to have sexual relationships with. And by choosing to get pregnant by a certain person, you are choosing who is going to be the father to your children. You are choosing the man who's going to be an example to your children. And that is an important choice. And I think a lot of women don't think about that anymore. We hear a lot how women complain about how men are not ish and they're not doing anything and they're just, lacking in so many areas. But at the same time, we are creating these men that we are not wanting in our own lives. So what I'm trying to say is that a man is very important in a child's life. Both parents are very important. But the difference is if you make the right choice in choosing the right person in your life, you're going to be much more comfortable and secure that your children are going to have great examples. Your children are going to have a leader, someone who's going to guide and protect them, and someone who's actually going to discipline them. Because I'm not saying women don't know how to do it, but most likely we are not in that position of really disciplining a child, because we are, so based on emotions and everything should be fun and free and it's all about feelings, while a man, he's going to be much more strict, especially if you choose a good man, right? If you choose to be sleeping around with men who are reckless with their own lives and reckless with the own decisions that they make, I'm sorry, you cannot expect too much. But this is exactly what young women do nowadays. They would choose a guy that they know for a fact he's not responsible. He's not even, taking care of himself in the right way. He's making reckless choices. He's just out and about. But they would pick that guy because of, the appearance, and he's fun and he's popular. People know him and you can, just experience a fun time. But fun is not lasting. Fun is not stability. It's good to have fun in life, but if that's all you have, where is that going to lead you, right? They are choosing men who they know for a fact that person is not looking to be committed, and that is no judgment to anyone. If you don't want to be committed, that's your choice. But you're choosing to lay with someone who has shown you how they are, and then expect afterwards for them to become this great role model and to come into your life and your child's life, while you know from the jump that that person wasn't in that position to do that in the first place. So especially for boys, if you have a son, a father is very important, because we as women, we can do our best, right? But you can never teach a young boy how to become a man. He needs another male figure that's going to show him and teach him, do it by example, so he can follow along in the right footsteps. A woman cannot do it. You cannot teach a young man how to become a man. You cannot teach a young boy how to act, how to behave, how to take over responsibility, how to tap into men's spaces. You need another man to do it. And for young girls, if you have a daughter, I think it's also very important to have a father in the life, because that girl, the first man in her life is going to be the father. She's going to learn early on a great example of what a man is supposed to do, what his duty is, and it's going to help her in life choosing the right man, or actually stepping away from the wrong man, because you have a great father at home. He has taught you certain priorities. He has taught you certain boundaries, and boundaries goes for both boys and girls. Discipline and boundaries is very important for every one of us in life, but especially if you don't have a male figure in your life as a woman, you would start tapping into being promiscuous, doing whatever you like. There's no consequences, but men are actually going to teach you early on that life is about consequences and choices. I think people nowadays are trying to make the world in their mind how they would want it to be, but completely looking away from how it actually is, right? We always make choices about feelings, and when it goes wrong, we don't look at ourselves and ask ourselves, where did I make the right choice? Where could I have made a better choice? No, instead, we just go into defense. We start blaming men. We start blaming the world. But actually, you did have a choice. You just chose to pick wrongly. And I live in Germany, and I see this more and more, that more and more young Black women are following along into this path, right? In our culture, actually, and this is wherever you're from in Africa, wherever you're from in the Black community, I would think that in our culture, we do learn this. We learn certain things, but so many people tend to, disobey. They want to be rebellious. They want to do whatever. So they start, having fun, going out partying, which is not judgmental. You should have fun. You should experience life, but everything has its limits. And then they sleep with someone who's not committed to them. They sleep with someone who, is reckless as they are as well. They get pregnant by that person. That man is not going to show up. If he wasn't there to be around to support you, how do you think he's going to be around to support another life, another child, a baby? So I think when you talk about this, a lot of women get defensive, right? Because they are so grouped up with other women who are single mothers who made the same choices, and they keep kind of celebrating each other and pushing each other, how strong they are, how they are trying their best, and it's so tough to be a single mother, and they keep hyping each other up, right? At the moment when someone calls it out and say, look, you've already made that choice, and a child is always a blessing, right? This has nothing to do with judging the child. This has something to do with being accountable and actually being honest enough to talk about things like that, so that the people around you, the young women around you, your siblings, whoever is looking up to you, can understand and not make the same bad choice, because they're lacking honesty. Instead of saying, look, if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have done this, and I don't want anyone to fall into this pattern, they would keep sugarcoating it. And I don't know, it's just a whole mess. I just wish that more people recognize that this is not the right path. And I'm not talking about single mothers who became single mothers because the husband passed away, or because of, those extreme, tiny, rare situations of how women become single mothers. No, I am talking about the single mothers who chose to ignore all the red flags, who chose to ignore logical thinking, who didn't make the right choice, who just thought that I'm having fun, who cares, it takes two to tango, just because he impregnated me means that he's going to stay. This idea of I can keep a man with my body, I can keep a man by having sex with him, is completely wrong. If the man never told you that he wants to be a father, he wants to be with you, he wants to get married to you, it's not going to happen. You cannot keep a man by getting pregnant. You cannot keep a man by having sex with him. He's going to do it. If you offer it, he's going to do it, but he's not going to be forced to stay. So I hope people understand this. I hope people think more about this. I hope that women have these conversations more openly and honest, so that we can hopefully stop this pattern, because it's just, I don't know, it's just nonsensical to me. However, guys, I hope you enjoy. See you in the next one. Bye.